good people, welcome to SPM Buzz. My name is Shikogita. We're right here with an amazing guest. As you can see, we have the head of Presidential Special Project and Creative Economy Coordination, Mr. Dennis Itumbi. Karibu sana ndani ya SPM.
Asante sana, nashukuru Shiko.
How have you been? Mimi niko salama.
Mimi pia niko sawa.
Aha.
Baby boy siku gani?
Mapema kidogo.
Bado na consider.
Kuna mikakati, we are not sure. Okay, I am not sure, lakini tunasema ni mapema kidogo.
Very good. At least kuna hope.
Tuseme hivyo.
Very
Tunaamini. But you're good?
I'm good, can't complain.
I remember last year,
Yeah.
we were actually here, looked for you, tukapanga interview, but we thank God at least you're here, finally.
I'm so sorry for last year.
Yeah.
Lakini from now on, anytime you want an interview, let me know.
Yeah.
Yes.
How's the job?
Well, it's almost a year, and
Yeah.
there's such a load. But I'm happy. I'm happy about the push you're making and the
Yeah.
results you're getting.
Asante
Yeah.
sana. Now, maybe we start with the most recent happenings in our country. Of course, last week it was quite a sad week for our country. We lost our very own former Prime Minister, Raila Odinga. And looking at your Instagram, you posted that you were lucky and happy that this year you at least got a chance to sit, chat, and listen to him. What memories do you have of the late Right Honorable Raila Odinga?
So thank you very much. I remember him as a man who I opposed on social media for throughout his political life.
Yeah.
I basically in 2013 he spoke about me, and sometimes in the 2022 campaign he also spoke about me.
Yeah.
And basically I must admit we had different opinions politically.
Yeah.
But towards the final year of his life, I met him in Germany. The picture that I shared on Instagram, we met in Germany.
Yeah. When was this?
I don't have the exact dates, but
Yeah.
it should be this year. And we had a discussion, and I remember immediately I went to say hi to him, and he told me to sit. He asked me, why is it that what can be done so that users of social media are earning
Yeah.
for what they do, and basically for us to tone down the misinformation.
Yeah.
I gave my answers, and he told me we need to think about it even more fundamentally bigger. He said the earning bit was bit, but the bit on disinformation, he basically said, what about we start a social media that gives the right information, so that then we are not only attacking disinformation, but we are also providing the right information,
Yeah.
which I found very captivating. On that day, we also did a bit of shopping together. And throughout, in him, I saw a fatherly figure and I had a completely different opinion from what I've heard for the bigger part of my life.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I've met him several other times at State House. And beyond saying the greetings, he has always had a challenge thrown my way. So I must say, I then remember him as a Kenyan leader deserving all the respect he got towards his demise.
Yeah.
And we can only say the ideals he taught, we try and implement them. The ideals he lived for, we have no choice but to live with. And at least his memories are on our YouTube channels,
Yeah.
on our Facebooks, and on manifestos that he wrote across. So I must say, it was my pleasure to have met him towards the last bit of his life.
Yeah. There's something that you've mentioned that when you actually met him, you got to know a certain side or face of him that you probably didn't know before. Could we say it was a story of maybe misinformation, hearing from people and,
No, I think sometimes when you don't have a personal touch, until I met you, Chico,
Yeah.
I considered you to belong to a certain style of thinking. But once I sat down with you a few months ago,
Yeah.
once I've watched what you've done, I now know you better. It's a concept of not having met someone personally. You may have misinformation about what they actually represent and think
Yeah.
in private. So I've never had the pleasure neither had he, of sitting down and for us exchanging ideas, which I finally did this year.
Yeah.
So I would say it is not misinformation. It's basically that there was no direct connection to understand a person. And then there is politics. And sometimes in politics, they say, I think even if I'm not wrong, the late Raila Odinga himself also held that siasa sio kanisa.
Yeah.
So it's an exchange of ideas at a public podium,
Yeah.
and sometimes aggressively so.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I wish I had sat down with him at close range for a longer time.
Mm-hmm.
But so is life.
Yeah, sure.
We lived. And in any case, without the opposition we gave Raila Odinga, then the legend would not be complete.
Yeah.
The opposition we gave and the people who supported, the combination of that is what made the legend. Yeah.
A towering statement for sure. You've mentioned politics. And, even after his death, we've had a lot. We would say in the last couple of days, we have had a lot of politics. I've seen you give your side of the story, advising Kenyans on things that actually happened. We start, first of all, from whatever happened with the Nyeri governor. We saw the ODM team give a statement yesterday on the same. Pale kwenye mtandao inaonekana kuna two sides, kuvuta ni kuvute.
So I'm an avid reader of books.
Yeah.
I do at least one book every week.
Uh-huh.
And I also read my Bible. So I've learned for people who have said sorry, to let them have the last word.
Yeah.
An apology is the best way to have your last word. So since the Nyeri governor has apologized at the time we did this podcast,
Yeah.
I would basically say I have no further comment. I would take his apology for sincerity and hope that the rest of us who are in the public space and
Yeah.
who have public commentary taken seriously have learned how to frame and how to speak.
Yeah.
I know I was among the first people to share the clip by the Nyeri governor online
Yeah.
after he spoke, because it was sent to me by a person who I've known for a while.
Yeah.
And when I got it, I listened to it. I decided I needed to share this and hear what people felt like. But since the man has apologized, let's give him his time
Yeah.
and take his apology. In any
Yeah.
case, even in our business of publishing, because my background is journalism,
Yeah.
I've learned that the business of journalism and communication and also of social media, you must be allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah.
It's part of democracy to make mistakes.
Uh-huh.
But after making mistakes, the most important thing is to apologize and withdraw. And since he has apologized, withdrawn, and resigned as a Council of Governors Vice Chair,
Yeah.
I leave it at that. I can only offer my hand for him to stand again.
Uh-huh. Oh, great. But what will you tell the youth out there? Because they feel out of this whole story, the issue of tribalism is kind of coming back. What will you tell the youth out there?
I was here in 2007.
Yeah.
I was a young journalist then. I was working for Far East Broadcasting as East African Association, and I was also working for Baraka FM in Kenya.
Yeah.
I covered the post-election violence. After that, I joined the Voice of America, and I covered the conflict in the region.
Yeah.
Most of it caused by tribalism. My only comment would be, let us not allow the language we speak to be the determinant of our decisions. In fact, the language we speak has very little to play in terms of national cohesion.
Yeah.
So let us adopt what unites us and try as much as possible what divides us to bring it closer. So I would say to the young people that let us not use tribalism to decide. The language that is called mother tongue, it is only associated to my mother, but my big the mother that unites all of us as Kenyans is motherland Kenya. So to Mother Kenya, let's speak the language of Mother Kenya.
Now, let's get into also some stories that are making headlines, especially last bit of last week and also this week. I'm talking about the Cybercrime and Computer Misuse Act. Of course, we saw yesterday the High Court lisimamisha kidogo. And you also made a post saying that it was actually not new. A lot of Kenyans were asking, what exactly were the amendments? Probably an information that a lot of people didn't have out there. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Once again, it's the role of misinformation in society. I'm even surprised that, there were about 3 cases that got orders in the High Court yesterday.
Yeah.
One of them was unfortunate because it gave orders to stop something that was passed in 2018, not in 2025, without a substantive request from the petitioners. However, let's go to why did we need to amend the Cyber and Computer Misuse Act for 2025. to introduce three things. One, you're aware, Shiko, and you can help people who view your podcast by just checking it out.
Yeah.
There was a family just about this year that had their child go to ChatGPT and got prompted on how to commit suicide, step by step, until that child committed suicide. One of the amendments that is in this amendments for the Cyber Misuse Act is to introduce the issue that no platform will be allowed to aid suicide. Another key amendment is to allow a committee that's already formed by the 2018 law, because this law came in 2018. It was signed by President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2018 May. So it's been operational. Some people moved to court, the Bloggers Association of Kenya, LSK,
Kenya Union of Journalists.
They went to court. When they went to court, they lost the case. They went to court, tell the court this is unconstitutional. The court said no, this is constitutional. That group then moved to the Court of Appeal. They were arguing their case on September 15th, there about this year, last month. And the Court of Appeal said they would give a decision in February next year, 2026. So the second issue is around terrorism. That's the second major amendment. That people who use some online space to recruit people into terror are stopped at the point of recruitment. So that then the committee or cybercrime committee committed by the law is able to bring down that website. I've seen some people argue that then government will use it to bring platforms that the government does not like. For instance, X. If you find Dennis recruiting people to join terrorism on X, then you bring down the entire X.
And that was actually my next question, because I saw a couple of people debating that this amendment about terrorism was after. This is an example that actually people are using. People are posting things to do with Mandamano, because we saw even after Mandamano, people are being arrested and being charged with terrorism. That's what they were arguing about.
So this law is very specific.
Okay.
On recruitment to terror and advancement of a plot to commit terrorism. And whereas it allows government to bring down an entire website that is being used. For instance, if you go create a website whose only role is to recruit, it doesn't give government power to bring in platforms where people are also advancing. There are people who are doing what SPM does. There are people who are doing weddings on those platforms. These targeted at websites doing terrorism recruitment or terrorism planning specifically. Then the third amendment that came into this during these amendments was an amendment that basically was introducing tougher rules on child pornography and pornography generally, which I'm sure nobody opposes, in terms of ensuring the access to pornography is completely not possible. So that then you protect children, teenagers, and adults the same. So again, what is the problem with this law? The other law that has brought a controversy is the Land Amendment Bill. First, these were not government bills, by the way. Even the Cybercrime Amendment was sponsored as a private member's bill. The other two land ones were also private members' bill. One, to title public land. You, of course, know how people grabbed Ruaraka land. A guy I've seen recently saying he's vying for president was among those who grabbed the land at Ruaraka, which was public land. What this amendment does, it enables the titling of public land, so that nobody says, I have a title of KICC, I have a title of Uhuru Park. Public land has a title. And of course, when you buy land and you have a development, you're told to spare some land for public access. That land is never titled. This amendment allows for that land now to be titled. So there's nothing about freehold being taxed and all that misinformation that I've seen being shared. So these were just progressive laws. There's nothing retrogressive about them.
Allow me to ask this question as it is about the Cybercrime and Computer Misuse Act specifically. What would you tell people out there who are like, this specifically is for people who are opposing the government?
Well, I would want them to show me the clause in the whole of that bill that targets people opposing government. By the way, she could have been arrested 4 times, not specifically on this misuse of Computer Act, but I've been arrested on the Kenya Information Act. And like many other bloggers who have been arrested and charged, I've been arrested 4 times. I have won all my cases. Because the first thing I do is challenge the laws in the Constitutional Court. The Constitutional Court has dropped twice some things. I've referred to them. Cyprian Nyakudi has moved to court. After being charged on the Kenya Information Act. Also, he managed to bring down a clause. Robert Araya has managed to bring down 2 clauses. So, being charged in court in itself is not an end. We've been charged there, we've won our cases. So if a law is wrong, it will be wrong.
Yeah.
But here is a case where a law was taken to court, the court upheld that it was constitutional.
Yeah.
So that means the law is well crafted to address specific issues.
Yeah.
And if it's protecting children from pornography, it's protecting people from being involved into stuff like, suicide. And also ensuring that terror does not take place is something that we must give ourselves accolades for being able to develop such a law. This law, by the way, exists in the UK, exists in the US, exists in Canada. It's a law that is not only being done in country, but outside country. Yeah.
What will you tell Kenyans since the High Court has temporarily, I would say, halted the bill? What next? A lot of Kenyans are like, what next? Because after that, in as much as people are opposing it, we also saw a couple of them who are like, I am in support of this because there's stories of body shaming online and things like that.
Cyberbullying.
Yeah.
So the High Court did not suspend the Act. The High Court suspended the amendments that were done to the Act. So the Act as was done in 2018 still exists because it was challenged in the High Court and the High Court found no problem with the Act as was passed in 2018.
Yeah.
So what has been stopped by court is the amendments that have been introduced in 2025. And you remember even in 2018, before the case was heard by the High Court, it was suspended.
Yeah.
Then the case was heard and the court ruled that it was constitutional. Same thing, stopped until the case is heard. Then the court will determine whether the amendments are legal or not legal. So I would say it's constitutional and democratic. Let the court hear both sides. Let a decision be made.
Yeah.
Absolutely no problem with the suspension.
Now we get to SHA. Stories out here are a lot. We have people who say SHA is working. We have others who think the system is not yet firm enough. Others who think the hospitals are kind of having some fishy businesses with this story of SHA. I'll give an example that I have seen personally. I had a story of someone who actually said they have paid for SHA. At times they use it, it works. But the next time they go, kidogo anaambiwa hawako kwa system and stories like that. Where could the issue be?
Okay, so it's good enough. In fact, one of the reasons why we have delayed this interview is because I had a very long meeting with the people in the technical team of SHA.
Yeah.
So I must admit, it is a solution in progress. No one is saying that it now works and there is no other way.
Yeah.
No other thing to say. So what I would basically say at this point is, I would challenge you because you own the microphone.
Yeah.
To gather a baraza, a street baraza, gather some people who have issues on SHA, call me, and I'll call people in SHA. We'll come and check their cases live. People who have issues with SHA. Let's check whether what they're saying is true or not. Now, is SHA working? I have no doubt it is. Today, I was just looking at the statistics. Now we have hit 27 million. Remember, NHIF had 7 million. So 20 million people have been added. It can only be added to a system that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So SHA works. Number two, today alone, when you were having this discussion, I've told you I've just come from, I was looking at the back end. As of a few minutes before I came here, there were 42,000 people who had checked out into our hospitals across the country. 37,000 of them were fully paid for by SHA. Another 2 or 3% were at different points. Maybe they are admitted, so they had to recover, so the charging has not been done. And the remaining are for other reasons. For instance, they have applied for pre-authorization and they are waiting the answers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it's 37,000 people are already being treated today by SHA, they're actually people enjoying SHA. You talk to any dialysis patient, they are beneficiaries of SHA on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
In fact, someone was just telling us he was in Ghana the other day and he saw a billboard saying the health system, the NHIS of Ghana, had advertised that they were doing 1 dialysis per week and people were very happy. Here, we have 2 to 3 dialysis per week, and people are very gloomy. So I think it's also a Kenyan problem. But I would not want to sit here and say that it's 100% perfect. There are issues to fix, but SHA has only turned 1 year old this month.
Yeah.
So it is work in progress, and we're going to ensure that it works for everyone in the right ways.
Yeah.
Now you can call an ambulance. When I was growing up, the guy with the car in the village is the guy we went to look for when we want to go to hospital. Today, because of the new ambulance thing launched last week, can just dial up an ambulance and it picks you.
Yeah.
So SHA is proper coverage, but I want us to have a SHA conversation with you, with the technical people in SHA and a baraza. Then we can have real questions from people, and we help solve them on the spot, and we see what's the issue. Even identify a hospital and call me, and don't tell me which hospital.
Yeah.
We just go there by surprise. Let's go see whether it actually works or not.
Now, you've mentioned that it's work in progress, but a lot of Kenyans are like, until when? Yeah. Or how long will it take, maybe?
So in terms of what I'm talking about work in progress is because, stuff like, for instance, some say cancer package. So on cancer, there is chemotherapy that's already covered. Then when you want a surgery, you don't get it from the cancer package, you pull it from the surgery package. So that person is covered comprehensively. What I mean by work in progress is, for instance, there are other things we'd want to add onto that SHA package, which Kenyans have continuously. I think it was 2 weeks ago, someone sent me a certain condition. When I asked around, I was told that condition is not covered by SHA because it's not in the list that was gazetted. But SHA is now fixing that. So there are some things that will come up that are never covered in NHIF, and they're not being covered in SHA. But now, as we listen to people's feedback, we are able to fix it. So it's not something, any health system is not something that is static. I just read today that China has introduced machines that can diagnose you without a doctor, AI. How do you introduce AI into SHA? Work in progress. So when I talk about work in progress, I'm not talking about that the system is still. It's working. Only that there are many more things that need to be done and added into the system for it to work. Medicine, KEMSA is already doing drugs to dispensary level. So all these things are things we continue fixing day by day and identifying the challenges that come.
Looking at the stories that are being shared online, I don't know what you will tell a Kenyan out there about, because there's someone who will say, I have paid for SHA, it works, at times it doesn't work. And some actually feel it's probably the hospitals that are trying to carry out some fishy business, like they want you to give cash. Yeah. What would you tell people with such issues?
Some files were handed over to DCI about a month ago.
Yeah.
Already about 17 of them have been processed and people charged in court. So the fraud bit of the hospitals, there was a hospital here that had recorded before we changed from NHIF to SHA, there are 2 men who had given birth and they were charging NHIF to pay. There was a watchman there who had been amputated on the right leg 6 times within a period of 2 months. So there is fraud, and that is detected by the system continuously and being sorted continuously. The issue of SHA works sometimes and SHA doesn't work sometimes. I would want to get a specific case so that I'm reacting to a fact.
Yeah.
Because you see, I think the other thing Kenyans need to do is that SHA is a package. So there's an amount you're entitled to, say, for dental, for optics, and that happens to every insurance. I pay, for instance, for myself and for my parents, private cover so that it complements SHA. And partly because I'm privileged enough to earn an extra coin that I can afford the extra cover. And even in the private cover, there are limits. If I exhaust 100,000 on surgery, they cannot benefit anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that's also what people need to appreciate, that on SHA there is a package that pays up to a certain limit. It's not limitless.
Oh.
So at some point, it will pay up to some point, then you'll have to add out of pocket. But mostly, it will cover. First, outpatient is 100%. You've gone to a dispensary at level 2, level 3, level 4, 100% outpatient. For inpatient, there are conditions, and this is not chronic because emergency and chronic are also covered under a different fund. But I'm talking of sometimes you may go for, say, 6 surgeries. SHA will pay for you maybe 600,000, then you have a balance of 400,000 to pay.
Ah.
So it is that package benefit that has not been advertised. That's why I'm saying we need to talk more. Then, because it's actually gazetted. It's if you Google it, SHA package, you'll find, even on your private insurance, you find, when you go for this. For instance, if you go to a private hospital and take a private room,
Yeah.
why should SHA will pay for you the same way they will pay for a person who has gone to a public hospital without the private
Room.
private rooms.
Yeah.
So the extra bit that comes,
Is
of
on
course,
you.
is out of pocket,
Uh-huh.
because SHA has to standardize everyone to be at the same level, so that then the extra is not a burden to taxpayers. It becomes a collective share from your pocket. So I think it's a question of more chat on what SHA actually covers for each condition. It's gazetted, but it's not publicized, and I'll begin telling people what exactly is covered under SHA.
I don't know whether you guys are running any campaign to educate people on this, because I believe a lot of people actually do not know about the limits on SHA. I don't know whether there are campaigns to...
Yeah, I think that's one
Yeah.
of the meetings we had here, that people also need to know how much is covered by for each condition. Because, I mean, there are some things that are luxury. For instance, if I've seen over the past few years, Kenya has embraced body changes. So somebody's adding a part of their body.
Yeah.
Some others are reducing.
Yeah.
How much would you want SHA to cover for that? Yeah. Some people want some whitening on the face because they think like cheeks are a bit full. Or some people want to be darkened. I don't know whether that exists. I've never seen somebody going to be darkened. I would want to know that. So how much would SHA pay for that? So the differentiation between luxury treatment, mandatory treatment, and what you qualify for and what you qualify for outpatient is something that needs to be told more. And we're going to begin those campaigns to tell people exactly what is covered in it. I mean, if you have a broken leg, how much would it cost to treat you from SHA? So depending on the hospital you go, you may get different charges. But what should be the standard thing that SHA covers, so that whatever the hospital you choose becomes an extra, but at least SHA covers the initial. Surgeries, you've had those cases. People go to a surgery and one person, everything is paid for. Another person, 400,000 is paid, and they have to fundraise for 200,000. Yet they have paid SHA. So it's the benefit package system that needs to be publicized more, and I'm sure there will be something around that for people to know exactly what SHA covers. Because we must be sincere. It's not limitless. There's a limit to which everybody is covered.
Yeah. The campaigns may be going to happen soon?
Absolutely, Shiko, and we will be recruiting you so that you can also help us tell the story, the factual story. You know, when I tell people we want to recruit, they start saying we are Melipo na serikali. No, we are recruiting you to tell the factual story, to help people understand what they qualify for.
And by the way, how do you handle this? Because you've said kidogo mambo na story na we are Melipo na serikali. How do you handle this? Because every time you see even someone giving a story in defense of a certain thing that the government is doing, huwezi kosa hizo story. How are you planning maybe to handle this? And maybe
So I am pushing government to change the way it advertises so that content creators get money. You're going to see a lot of this. Even as you wait for government, I want to put personal resources to reward creators to tell the factual story about government. So very soon you're going to see some stuff, because I think content creators are in this to make money, to create content and also make money out of the content. I mean, we've paid mainstream media for all those years. We've paid mainstream Nation, Standard, and Star, the people. We've put adverts there. And one advert in most of these newspapers is 1 million, 1.5 million for a full page. What about you give that 1.5 million to 10 creators to tell the same adverts? What's wrong with that? When I said that there was too much, why is government prioritizing this instead of building classes? My message is the same.
Others saying you may be trying to corrupt the
message so that the content creators know the message is positive. Again, to content creators, I am working very hard to ensure that advertising by government also uses online platforms and uses content creators. And that shall happen.
Have you already started maybe recruiting a couple of creators?
So I'm now working on the guidelines. I should be forwarding the guidelines to the relevant ministry, parliament, and eventually I hope they will then become part of it. But even before that, before we go for December, I'm fundraising among friends to create a package as people go for Christmas to win. I'm going to put in watch out.
Uh-huh.
There will be some lovely stuff coming for content creators.
Yeah.
Prepare yourselves. But it will be on housing, agriculture reforms, SHA. It will be about the economy, and I want factual stories.
Uh-huh.
In any case, when Safaricom advertises or Coca-Cola, you don't go write a bad story about Coca-Cola and they advertise. They advertise for you to tell the good story about them.
Yeah.
Government is going to put money for people to tell the good stories about government. And as Dennis Itumbi, before the end of this year, as I wait for the, for the system to work on the systems for this to be approved,
Yeah.
as Dennis Itumbi and my friends. And so if you're my friend and you're listening to this,
Yeah.
accept our WhatsApp message.
Uh-huh.
We are going to fundraise and put money for content creators to get something to go with for Christmas for telling stories about government.
Uh-huh. Mentioning creators, you're very passionate about the creative economy in this country. And a month ago, in an interview, you mentioned that you are actually working on an African Grammy Awards. We would want to know, it's a month now, any progress maybe?
So we have had a long conversation
Yeah.
with the Recording Academy that owns the Grammys. Initially, they needed 2 African countries to co-host the African Grammys.
Yeah.
But the African countries that initially shown interest fell off along the way. Kenya paid, as you well know. So we are now in a conversation on how we roll out this, because it's a whole process. The Recording Academy has a process on how before they roll out. There are Caribbean Grammy Awards away from the US Grammy Awards. So the African Grammy Awards is not a new idea. It's an idea that has been implemented elsewhere.
Yeah.
So the process, I would say, is not at the curative level. Tomorrow I have a virtual call with the Grammy president and Panos, and we've had a chat for a while now.
Yeah.
So it's something that Kenya is still pushing, and we are confident that at the right time there will be proper communication on how the process will then take off. We are targeting 2027 as the day we roll out.
Yeah.
However, that is dependent on a few things by the Recording Academy. So be assured that the conversation is still on, and it's a life-changing opportunity.
Yeah. In the same conversation you mentioned artists and how it's funny Kenyan artists receive just pesa kidogo out of their music. And you mentioned that you are going to actually change, for lack of a better word, the system on how they get their money. And I saw someone asking, does this mean we will no longer be having the MCSK?
Okay, so the CMOs will remain. The law requires that the Kenya Copyright Board licenses CMOs to collect money on behalf of musicians. So they will remain. All we are saying is we need transparency.
Okay.
And that transparency can only be possible if you have a system that's visible to the artists, to the ones who are collecting the CMOs, and to the general public when they need to. So the artists, so the system is going to be provided under eCitizen, and we know it's going to improve the amount that is collected. So yes, we still determine that is actually at almost the closing stages.
Yeah.
We've worked very hard. We will have very good news, I'm sure, in the next few weeks.
Before the end of 2025?
Yeah, around having a system that then collects on behalf of musicians.
Yeah. Now, you are a very close friend to His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto. And I heard you once mention that actually Daktari doesn't even, at times he doesn't even have that personal time. You understand? On the same, how do you receive these things of maybe people talking negatively about him, his leadership and things like that, now that you personally know what exactly he does for this nation? On a personal level, I'd say.
I'm hoping I can get the president to have an interview with you someday, then maybe you'll be able to answer that question better. However, I need to note the following. He asked for votes. By asking for votes, he asked for both positive and negative reviews. And to that, sometimes even when I think he hasn't seen the negative reviews, I screenshot and send him. So that he can see that, there are people with a different opinion. Because first, I'm an employee under him, so he's my boss. But beyond that, I also consider him as a friend. So after the working hours, I approach to him as a friend. And I show him people don't actually agree on this issue. and he has his remarks. Sometimes he says, maybe this one did not understand, help them understand.
Yeah.
Sometimes he says, this is actually correct, I agree, and picks a call and corrects policy.
Yeah.
So negativity expressed with some form of respect is
Yeah.
good. I mean, in fact, when people criticize me, I
Uh-huh.
grow.
Yeah.
So for the president too, critics are here. Critics are our fuel. So without critics, you are not a leader. So all I ask for is respectable criticism.
Uh-huh.
You know, there's no point of saying, a policy has been put out, then, you know, like now you have said about content creators
Yeah.
earning from advertising revenue by government, then the comment is, mboe, you know, it doesn't help your cause. If you disagree, it's okay,
Yeah.
but say you disagree because this is what your alternative is. So I would say at this point, negative criticism is good. Just keep it respectful. But hey, if you feel that you best can express it with some insults, put the insults, but put a point. Don't just say mboe and then you say nothing.
Yeah.
Criticize, say something. Even if you have to add some insults and you think that's the best way to express, insult, but put your point, because we take criticism very seriously.
Uh-huh.
Your question was, how do I feel when he's criticized?
Yeah.
I'm one of the happiest persons, because then he gets feedback, raw and direct. So criticize the president. I mean, if you disagree with him on something, criticize, put your alternatives. Most of the times we see those comments and we forward them to him, however they are. Even those ones with insults, we put it on his desk. So without criticism, I would think it would not be fair democracy. So criticism is good.
How about striking the balance between listening to the critics and actually people who support what you're doing?
You see, when I read your story about Odinga asking for a boy child from you, there are people in those comments who said, no, you two guys don't match.
Yeah.
Then there are people like me who said, I mean, if Shiko agrees, why not? Should Odinga not get his way? So you'll always have two sides to every conversation.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is okay for people to express themselves fundamentally. Yeah.
Do you at times feel like it's too much and overwhelming, actually? Even for you,
I've had
as
the
a close
privilege of
friend?
working for two presidents.
Yeah.
And the one thing I've noticed is that, especially towards the election, there's too much criticism that is based on the political persuasions people have adopted towards an election.
Yeah.
For this president, the issue, for President Ruto, the issue is that he's done very bold stuff. In fact, one of the guys who designed the shirt together with him was here this afternoon. And he was telling me there is no president in the region he has seen doing health reforms in their first term.
Yeah.
They wait for second term. But this president has done it in his first term. The housing levy, he did it in his first term, not caring that actually he was going to have a re-election.
Yeah.
So of course he expected criticism. Boldness attracts cowards. And boldness also, cowards are the ones who do completely insultive criticism. Those are cowards.
Yeah.
And we also listen to them because sometimes even cowards have a point.
Yeah.
Then there is a middle level critics who actually argue because they have a good point. Then of course there is always a critic, forever a critic.
The keyboard warrior.
Yeah, whether you know, it says wear a white shirt. When you wear a white shirt, they say that white shirt should have had 7 buttons, not 6. When you wear 6 buttons, they say no, it should not have had 4 holes to do the stitch. It should be 1 hole. So there are those guys who will always criticize for the sake of criticism. So I would say too much? No. I would just say fair enough criticism where it is fair. There's of course the part misinformation plays, like we have clearly discussed today.
Yeah.
So those ones are just misinformed, and some of them deliberately misinformed. So I would say, yes, sometimes the pressure from the public is too much, but we've learned how to take the pressure, how to adopt the criticism, and how to move on.
You know, even like a lot of people say that looking at other regimes, probably because of times, people are more aware of, or rather they make criticism so much, especially on social media. At times, like you've mentioned, matusi pale hivo 1 2 1 2. Do you think there's anything that can be done? Because we have also had people who say now tunavuka line at times. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, let me tell you my personal view. Sometimes I hold back this too much, but today let me talk. I believe insults are part of democracy. we are human beings because unlike animals, we can insult, somebody can insult you.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with people who insult. I only advise them if they have a point, insult and make the point. But if you believe in just insulting, it's okay. Insult, we'll read the insults and move on. You just not benefit because you just have insulted.
Yeah.
But for you to inform policy, insult and put whatever you want to change.
Uh-huh.
I actually believe there should be a right to insult, protected by the Constitution.
Uh-huh.
So that if you feel like for you to move on, lazima utukane msee, ukubalishwe na sheria utukanane kabisa.
Yeah.
I ever know that the National Cohesion Act has a law against insults, but I find that, I mean, freedom of expression should allow you to call me whatever you think I am. You think I'm a wadhog, niite punda media, I mean, it's okay. Maisha ita stop, I will not become punda because you call me punda. I mean, so, I mean, I personally believe insults should be protected, and those who insult should be protected. Maybe it's their way of expression. Maybe they have nothing else to say, they can only insult. Please allow them. My only challenge to people who insult is tafuteni matusi mapya. Kama hizi matusi za mboa sijui nini zimekuwa hapa since I was born. Simtafute mpya ndio tufili yenyewe mnatukana na fiti.
Our update.
Update matusi kidogo. Dictionary ya matusi bado iko nyuma kidogo.
Yeah. You know, the same you have mentioned about policies, and reminds me that this afternoon Kikuyu member of parliament mentioned something. He said that they actually divided the 2024 finance bill into 4 and passed the bills. We do not know how true that is because alikuwa pale kanisani nikimsikiza, and he was saying it was time now leaders waseme tu kweli ilivyo. Yeah. I don't know whether you've seen such story.
No, what happened, what as far as I know, is he was addressing the issue of the miscellaneous amendment bills brought in December 2024. You can just go Google them up. So basically what they did, what was decided was, you know, Kenya was going to run into a halt. I mean, if you stop a finance bill, it means you can't collect taxes.
Yeah.
So what basically they did, the progressive parts of those bills were then brought back by sector. So where it was business, those laws were brought back as business. And the other different they're not off my head right now, but you can go Google them and see, and they were passed by Parliament through public participation, and they passed by, and when the matter went to court, the court ruled that they were fairly passed upon. So from the feedback given for the Finance Bill 2024, the laws were recrafted, they didn't come back as Finance Bill, they came back as sector laws, and they were then passed and adopted, and that's how Kenya managed to survive that financial year and collect money.
Okay.
So he's right in what he said.
Yeah.
That the positive parts of that finance bill of 2024 were then redrafted and passed so that it would enable. That's why now we are talking about funds that are available now to build roads.
Yeah.
We were able to stabilize the economy, partly because those laws were then repackaged and passed. Yeah.
According to the comments, Kenyans actually know that there was no amendment.
No, I mean, just go look at them there. And that's why the Kikuyu member of parliament and majority leader Kimani Ichung'wah today explained they were divided into 4 into the sectors. Finance bill was a long thing. The things that people opposed were never brought in December. There was issues about bread. They were never brought about bread increase in December, and that's visible because you know the price of bread in the supermarket. There were issues in that finance bill. Then around motor vehicle tax, it was never brought in December. So I mean, the stuff that the young people of Kenya said they do not want in the finance bill were never brought back. What was brought was what was never opposed by anyone. I mean, no one opposed that a digital tax should not be charged. In fact, if I remember well, I met content creators here and they told me they don't want the digital tax as was framed then. It was removed. It never came back to Parliament in December. So there are very many rows that never came back because of the feedback we got. Yeah.
All right. As we wind up now, let's ask about, I'll call it an FAQ. Because every time you actually type Dennis Itumbi on Google, first pale hivyo inatokea Dennis Itumbi's wife. Watu wakauliza, jamani, kunaenda vipi Itumbi leo ajibu?
Well, so here the question is?
Now the question is,
yes.
Is Dennis Itumbi ni mtu ambaye ameamua labda hii mambo na ndoa kidogo?
I'm still thinking about the institution of marriage. I have my issues about the institution of marriage that I try to convince myself, and as I told you, I read many books. So I'm at a level where I'm deciding whether marriage is necessary for you to live, because I know there are 3 things that are compulsory to a human being.
Yeah.
To be born, to pay taxes, and to be buried.
Yeah.
The other things are optional.
Yeah.
So I do not treat marriage as a compulsory passage of life. So no, the answer to Dennis Itumbi's wife is none exists.
It might not happen.
In the future,
Yeah.
we leave it to God. You know, they say a good wife is a gift from God, and he who gets a good wife obtains favor from the Lord. So God is still packaging my gift. My hands are open.
Yeah.
When the gift comes, I'll unwrap it. Yes.
All right. How do you handle actually such things? Because I believe even on a personal level, a lot of people ask you the same.
About 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
women from my village, I hosted them here.
Yeah.
And after we spoke about development and all the other things, one lady stood and said, okay, all those things are good. Let's do all of them.
Yeah.
But sasa tunataka kuzaliwa. So unaleta huyu mrembo lini. So in response, I told them that there is one marriage that is assured. All of us will get married. It is going to be in heaven. If I read my Bible correctly, we are all going to be the bride. So in that marriage, I accept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ingine kidogo pressure hakuna.
Hii ya nchi haina pressure.
Familia wamekwambia nini?
Waliacha. I think waliweka pressure mpaka waka accept what I'm saying is going to be the case. So, I mean, I think there's a clip somewhere. The president, as deputy president, we were in a wedding and told me and someone else to stand and said, na hata wawili nataka. So the pressure is everywhere, not only from parents, even from our friends, and also from my boss. So pressure iko. And I must say these Kenyan women are very beautiful. And I'm a bit well traveled. So I'll tell you, Kenyan women are very beautiful. I need to put that bit there so that this other conversation about other things doesn't come up too. I see beautiful women.
Yeah.
I have had my personal relations.
Yeah.
So I am only not sure about the institution of marriage and whether or not I should go that direction. To be comforted, a former attorney general of this country called Charles Jonjo got married at 50. I'm way off. So
you still have time.
Iko time. Na hata shiko ako single hapa, so mambo iko tu sawa.
Lakini okay, wacha nisionge, labda nitamwaga mtama, but anyway ikifika kwangu wacha tu kidogo nipumzike. When I sit on that other side, then I'll answer that. But anyway, you know, on the same, when you say that your hands are open and God is actually preparing that gift for you, and I'm forgetting her name. You have a podcast. What's her
Caro
name?
Ashas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kuna swali alikuuliza.
Yes.
What do you mean that your gift, your hands are open, God is packaging it, and you actually answered that you are waiting for the right time? Akakuuliza, because you've also mentioned that you see beautiful ladies. Don't you put the effort?
You see, part of the packaging, I believe, is the effort. So all that combined together is what God is packaging.
Okay.
Then once it's done, it's going to come down. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would have such a big problem approaching someone I really want to have a long-term relationship with. To not be an issue. And if I wanted to get kissed, I don't think I would get too much trouble to seek one.
Yeah.
So I mean, I am in good placement.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a problem on that sector of searching and putting an effort.
Yeah.
It's just that I also don't want to waste anyone's time. If someone wants to get married, I also want them to get it. So I don't want to tie them up around. I don't want them to be tied only around a space.
Yeah.
I want them to be free. As I don't want to make my decisions while holding someone's daughter. So when that time comes to make that decision, I'll make it. And the steps thereof, I don't think I am unable to do.
Yeah.
I've read Jomo Kenyatta's book on Facing Mount Kenya, in which he tells about Kikuyu culture and how to get married and all that stuff. So I know what I need to do.
Yeah. I
just don't think this marriage thing is such an issue. I mean, it's it's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
In my view, it's an institution that has culturally you are brought up that at some point after you get a job you should get married. I am opposed to it. I don't think it's a compulsory right of life.
Yeah.
I just think it's something that is there to make people happy and maybe I don't know, because if the issue of marriage is children, I can get children without marriage. If the issue of marriage is companionship, you can get companionship without marriage. I don't see one compelling reason why marriage is a compulsory issue.
And I partly agree with your idea that well, it's a good thing, but si venye tumeambiwa eti lazima ukifika hii age lazima, but anyway, God's time.
Mimi nakubaliana na wewe. Sio lazima. It is a good thing, but sio lazima. Let's not too much pressure on. It is not an achievement of life.
Yeah, true. All
but
right.
to those who are married, please keep the marriages.
Yeah.
And to those who are doing their weddings, give us invites to come and dance.
Yeah.
Weddings are a beautiful things to attend. Marriage are good things to watch. But getting married is not a compulsory thing.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it's Paul who writes in scripture and says, it is good to get married, but even better not to get married. Sio mimi nimesema, ni Biblia.
All right. Thank you so much, Itumbi, for your time. But before we leave, we are almost done with 2025. How has it been for you?
So 2025 has been one of the best years, I think, in public service for me. It's managed me to mature a lot of things I've believed in, a lot of ideals I've invested in.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when you're having the end of year podcast with you, I'll bring you along what has been achieved.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. I won't ask what plans you have for the remaining months because you have already mentioned si moja, si mbili, si tatu.
Just one.
Yeah.
Jamhuri Day, we are celebrating it on the theme of tourism, wildlife, meetings, incentives, and conferences. Nice.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Nairobi, hopefully at Talanta Stadium as it gets unveiled. So tourism, wildlife, and mice. So prepare around your content as you do your content calendar for December. Have that somewhere so that we can tour this country and help Kenya tour the country. Or if you have an idea on what we can do, please share it with me. And we'll help you, support you to be able to do it. Yeah.
All right. Great. Asante sana. Thank you for sharing and clarifying a lot of things, a lot of stories that maybe people out here have no information about. Definitely tuko na maswali kule nje, tutakuwa tunakuja pia. Wakenya wanajua mambo ambayo labda hawakuwa wanajua. Asante sana.
Nashukuru, umekaribishwa sana.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Until next time, I've been your host, Shiko Guitar. Remember, on all platforms, you can find us at SPMBuzzKE. Find me too at I_am Shiko Guitar. Also, Dennis Itumbi, very active on social media.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Until next time, bye-bye.
SPM Buzz.